Alright, it's time for another Scrawler box. This one is from June, I think. Let's open it up and see what we've got. Oh, and it's a miracle. It's actually all in one bundle this time. So far, every time I've gotten them, they've been kind of all over the place. Ripped it again. Dang it. Ooh. And the first thing is watercolor set. Daler Rowney Aquafine watercolor travel set. Oh. Alright, well, let's fix this really quick here. They're all stuck to the lid. Oh, cool. They have the color information on the side of the half pans. No, I don't think I'm putting them in right. There we go. Alright, now we've got all our colors, mostly where they're supposed to be. And cute little travel brush. Oh, that is tiny. Oh. Ooh, that's gonna be hard to use. I'm used to using longer ones. Is it telescope or is that just... Nope, that's just it. It's a little beat up, but our sticker this month, and it is a watercolor. Staedtler Norris Erasable Pencil. I think this is going to be like the Prismacolor erases and the Ticonderoga red pencils I use. I really like sketching in these red colors. It makes it easier to do art. These are by Faber-Castell. They are polychromos colored pencils. These feel really nice. They're in a brown and a green. I think I saw a name on them. Yeah, we've got Van Dyke Brown and we've got Earth Green Yellowish. A Posca. Yep, we have a Posca in white. This one's really tiny. Oh, it is a fine tip. Don't have one this small yet. Candy is Duo Stick Frutella. List of supplies. Alright, so it seems like this should come out, but I can't figure it out. So maybe I'm wrong? But it seems like there's a line around it. It feels like it's supposed to... Oh, well, I can't figure it out. I don't want to break it, so maybe it's not meant to come out. Ooh. Oh yeah, there's paper involved. This is Langton Prestige watercolor paper at 300 GSM. Ooh. That is thick and has a really nice tooth to it. This is nice paper. I think I'm already in love with this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to buy more of this. And the art for the month is beautiful. Oh, it's by Milk too. I follow her on Instagram. Go follow her. Her stuff is adorable and beautiful. Let's see, this month's challenge word is Summer Flourish. I'm going to have to draw plants. I can't not. So first off, these colors are reactivating really beautifully. Like, I think I just put a dollop of water on it and they were already reactivating, which is something I look for in a watercolor. I hate when I have to work for my colors. You know, I don't think I put these back in the right spots. Maybe I did. I appreciate the travel brush, but my fear was justified. It's almost too small to hold. I might throw a pencil extender on it here in a few minutes and tape it on just to make it so I can hold it. I know they're different, but those almost look like the same color. Oh, no. According to the picture, I did it right. I realized they're on the... Oh, no, look. See? It does come out. I'm just unable to make it do the thing. But no, in the picture, it physically shows it differently. I'm just weak, apparently. I'll figure it out later, maybe. It's a little bit lighter than I normally like to work, but it'll do. It's also a little orangier than I normally do. Now these Faber-Castells, oh, they feel so nice to use. I think I might need to buy more of these. I am really loving the Van Dyke Brown. And what was this? The Earth Green Yellowish? Yeah, an Earth Green Yellowish. Oh. And a Posca. Oh, it's so quiet because it's so tiny. For a reference point, here's what it's so quiet. Oh, I love it. Oh, this is the most I've ever had to work for one of these. Normally you just barely press down and it gushes everywhere, so I'm a little nervous. I've never had to actually do this part before. Oh, come on, buddy. Hello? Oh, there we go. I think I'm gonna let these dry and then figure out what I want to do. But they're drying really pretty too. They're not fading a whole lot, which is good. But yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out what to do for Summer Flourish. I kind of want to do sunflowers. I kind of feel like drawing a field of sunflowers. I'm gonna draw a field of sunflowers. Right, so I know you're not supposed to draw the first thing you think of. You're supposed to sketch for a bit, draw some later ideas. But I drew my OC Mara in a field of sunflowers, holding a bunch of sunflowers. I can't get the idea out of my head. It's just, she sounds so cute. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this lovely sketch over onto our paper. And this is really nice paper, and I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to actually draw her on the same paper where I swatched, because I kind of want to use the other sheet of this paper for another drawing. It's so nice. It's such a good paper. I am probably going to be buying more of it because I like it that much. And it's hard to find good paper, you know? And oh my god, they stuck to my thing again. Oh, I am about to give up. These things are about to get super glued to this thing. Oh my gosh, it's on the floor. Everything is going wrong. You guys, it's covered in cat fur. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've got any watercolors that don't have cat fur in them somehow, so I guess it's just fitting that my pretty new paints would... It was inevitable. It was inevitable that this would happen. I saw a picture the other day of like an artist call-out post, and they basically had a pencil that was about this sharp, and it was titled "No, Not Good Enough," and then they had a picture of it where I like to have mine sharpened, and we're like, ah, that's perfect. And I was a little offended because for me, I feel like I can't draw if I don't have a sharp pencil, and so I'm always just surrounded by pencil shavings because I have to always be sharpening them. I don't know how people draw with blunt pencils. I am jealous of it. I'm gonna try one more time. How do you remove this? I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. It's like, we're done. I give up. Get rid of all the pencil shavings. Normally I don't mind them, but this thing seems to be, the Staedtler Norris Erasable seems to be producing a lot of pencil shaving. But, sketch is done, drew hands, covered them with flowers. Why do I even bother drawing hands at this point? So normally this only works while it's wet. I was able to reactivate part of the painting I just sprinkled salt on my watercolor because I wanted a little bit of speckled in the background, and it's not going to show up so well on the camera because it's going to be really pale because I'm using it over a light yellow. You can use a bunch of different things in order to get textures on your watercolors. One of the things you can use is salt. Basically the salt absorbs the pigment and leaves behind these really unique white splotches. You can dab it with a paper towel while it's still wet. You can use saran wrap. There's a lot of different things. And I thought that having a little texture from salt would make this look really fun. So basically, while it's wet, you sprinkle salt on and then you let it dry. And once it's dry, you can brush it off and you'll have a texture. I haven't done it for a while because I haven't watercolored really in a while. I laid down a wash for the skin, and then I decided it would be fun to add some shading. So since everything on here is kind of a warm color, I mixed up a kind of cooler purple, and I'm just kind of going over parts of this and to add a little bit of shadow and depth to it. But I want it to feel a little bit soft, so I'm not going to go as extreme as I normally do. I'm just adding a little bit of shading here and there. And this paper is doing really good. I've put so much water on this, and it's slightly warping, and if I'd, thought ahead and taped it down, it wouldn't be doing this. And then I think I'm gonna move on to her hair. I'm not quite ready to tackle the flowers. Even though it's just going to be kind of blobbing paint on, I'm just not quite prepared for it right now. But I will say, I've never used this brand of watercolor before. I pretty much just got a ton of Winsor & Newton, and I kind of just used those because I got them as a present, and they worked, and I never experimented, and now it's kind of fun to have a different brand and see how they work. The thing that impresses me the most is the fact that they do such an even wash. My Winsor & Newton ones, it's kind of 50-50. They're either going to do a really nice wash or it's going to be kind of splotchy. But these are These are really nice. I'm going to use the Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencil, and I'm going to start just adding some line work around her. I've really liked using colored pencils for doing lines lately, so this is sort of a comfort zone area now. I want to go ahead and add some stripes into her dress to just, I guess, add detail, make it a little bit cuter. I thought my watercolor was dry, I might be wrong. Well, it might not be showing up so well on my pale blue, but it's definitely showing up on my table. Gonna have to clean this up in a few minutes. So I can't decide if I want these to be sunflowers or daisies. I think daisies would be really cute to tie in with it. So I'm gonna try... Oh, okay, I think it looks cute. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep going. This is looking adorable. I'm liking this fine Posca. I've never used one so small before. Gonna add some shine to her hair. Alright, so I'm trying to do too much. There's too many parts on here that are wet right now. So I'm gonna let this sit, let the flowers dry, and then I'm gonna come back in a couple hours and add this green pencil to the leaves, add this a brown pencil to the flowers, I'm using the earth green yellowish Faber-Castell pencil to just add a little bit of definition to the leaves. Really didn't plan on having much green in here, so I didn't really plan on using it much. Then I went back in with the Van Dyke brown and added a little bit of definition to the petals. And I also, you saw earlier, I went through with the Posca pen and added a bit of a border around her. Just to make her pop off the page a tiny bit more. And I really like these. These are good supplies. I want more of these pencils. And then I'm just adding a little bit of shading to the face with these as well. Nothing too crazy, but just trying to make them pop a tiny bit more. Bringing in a little bit more red for the blush, and on the nose area. I accidentally had the mouth going out a little too far, so I'm trying to lift up some of the red, color it back in with a little bit more of the brown. Blend it out. Oh, it's too dark. Okay, lighten it up. Watercolor, you can lighten it up. Oh, this brush is so tiny. It is so hard to use. Like, I'm holding it like this, and this is not how I hold paintbrushes. I always hold them like up close and personal, but I can't. It's just so small. It's nice for traveling with, but at what price? I'm trying to add just a tiny bit of the idea of texture onto the sunflower centers. I swirled around with the Van Dyke brown earlier, but I think a couple highlights are pulling them all together. And I really loved how this upper area turned out. It was one that was partially dry, then I re-wet it, then I put salt on top of it, and that caused this really cool texture, whereas down here it was already wet and I just threw the salt on while it was soggy. And it's just kind of like the two of the things you can do with the same technique, and I love it. Watercolors lend themselves to some really fun textures if you think about it in time. I always think about it way after the fact. Like, this was already starting to dry when I went and remembered that salt makes a cool texture. Alright, cat hairs. I'm trying to send my artwork more. Alright, and this is the finished product. I really like these watercolors. I am definitely going to be using them more, and I'm definitely going to be buying more of these Faber-Castell Polychromos.